Sorry, we've got a few speakers left and some really interesting things for us to learn and talk about. So our next speaker is, let's get Katrina. Oh, Katrina, come up, don't be nervous. Katrina's going to talk to us about, and I did ask her, opening a commercial salon. So Katrina has heap of experience at this. Give her a big clap, a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Can you drop a handstand?
No, I can't.
You sure? Okay. We can do it together. I can hold your leg. I can hold your legs. Okay.
Thank you. Oh, how do I use this clicker? Which one's the next? That's the real question. The green one, obviously. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, firstly, I need to get this out of the way. I'm a really fast talker, so I'm going to go through today pretty quickly. I'll try and slow it down as much as I can. First of all, can I please have a raise of hands? Who works for themselves? Maybe you rent a room. Oh my goodness, amazing. Working from home, renting a room, amazing. Who owns a salon? Oh, okay, wow, that's more than I expected. That's awesome. So that's actually what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today, is going from having just a home studio working by myself to now having a commercial shopfront salon. And this is very recent. I am still on my grind to the top. Yeah, this has only been in the last 1.5 to 2 years that I've been on this journey. But firstly, oh perfect, it's already on my next slide. Who am I? My name is Katrina Zumkeller. I'm 26 years old and I am from Sydney. Career-wise, I own a salon. I'm completely lash obsessed. I've been in the beauty industry for 8 years, working for myself that whole time. Outside of work, I am a sister, a wife, I'm an auntie. I love traveling. I'm obsessed with traveling, actually. And I love making money doing what I love, which is obviously lashing. So, let me press this. There we go. Awesome. So where did this all begin? So my career journey started out, like I'm sure many of you may or may not have, in a different section of the beauty industry. So I started in makeup. Originally I'm a makeup artist, and I was working out of a home studio, which is that middle one up the top there. It was very, very small. And one of my friends was like, I'm gonna do a lash course. And I was like, amazing, I love lashes. I'm definitely gonna go along to that with her. So I went along to the course. It wasn't very good. I literally applied one lash, got my certificate, and off you go. So I wasn't very good to begin with, which is my very first set there in the top left-hand corner. That is my beautiful sister who would let me practice on her doing whatever. And funny story, I didn't have a lash bed after I finished my course, and I spent all my money on the course. I didn't even think about a bed or a light or anything like that. So I lashed my sister on my dining table. I made her climb up there, lashed her on the dining table, and then my mum as well. So obviously, I ended up getting a bed eventually. And I loved doing lashes, even though I wasn't very good at it to begin with. Of course, like I said, my training wasn't very good, but I absolutely loved doing it. My story is no instant success or no quick success. A couple months went by and I was completely defeated. I had no clients. I was doing a full set here or there or a fill here or there, but it was nothing to sustain a business. So I actually said, okay, I'm gonna quit. I'll go back to doing makeup. I didn't put it out there on Instagram, but I decided in my mind that was it for me. It was over. And just in that moment, you know, another week went by and I got a full set. And after that, I got a fill and then another fill and another fill. And things just gradually grew up until, you know, the point where I was fully booked out. So looking back, I'm so grateful that I didn't give up. And the reason I'm sharing that with you today is because I don't know where you're at in your career, and maybe you're on, you know, the brink of giving up. Maybe you're further in your career and it's amazing. But wherever you are, please don't give up and please push forward. Now, like I said, things did grow for me very slowly and very organically. And my work did get better. I put that photo in the top right-hand corner just to prove it. And yeah, I was fully booked out at home and I decided to start my product line because I was already using amazing products and I wanted to share it. But then, of course, then COVID hit, and I'm sure, like many of you, everything pretty much stopped from there, which came with great timing because I decided to do a little DIY project at home, make my salon bigger, which is that middle photo there. Extended it so that I could do trainings from home, which I ended up doing the International Lash Masters Educators course. And if you haven't done it, it's phenomenal. So shout out to Diana for that. It's amazing. Do it if you're going to start training people. It definitely helped me a lot with that. So lockdown lifted, I started training people. And it was awesome. I loved it. And I put it on the back burner a little bit now, to be honest. But yeah, it was awesome and it was great. To be completely honest with you, when clients would ask me, would I open up a salon? The answer was always no. Flat out, so quickly, no, I would not open up a salon. The reason I would say that was because I had imposter syndrome. I ruled myself out so quickly. Why would I do that? Why me? How could that be successful for me? I also let other people's judgments and their opinions influence my decisions. So I would hear things like having staff is really hard, opening a salon would be really hard. Not one of these people actually had a salon, but in my mind, I agreed with them. I was like, yeah, that sounds true. It was completely, now that looking back, it's completely inaccurate. So yeah, but what changed for me? So how did I go from having that home salon, saying no to clients literally 2 weeks before I was signing a lease? Well, in that bottom left-hand corner, that is me at the 2022 International Lash Masters Conference. And I was sitting here just like you, listening to a bunch of amazing speakers, but one in particular really resonated with me. I timidly put my hand up during a Q&A and I asked a question asking, when do you know, how do you know you're ready to open up a salon? And she actually flipped that question on me and asked me a couple questions. And after a couple back and forth, she was like, you're so ready to open up a salon. And it was just with that little hint of confidence that someone instilled in me where I was like, I could actually do this. And that amazing speaker you've actually heard from today, that is the amazing Lauren Lappin. And yeah, she is incredible. Whatever she is selling, honestly, buy it. It is liquid gold. I have done business coaching with her, and it literally projected me forward so much. I have no idea where my business would be right now without you, Lauren. So yeah, props to you. She didn't even know I was mentioning her name today, so surprise. She is amazing. So I was just here just like you guys listening to that. But to be completely honest, I was at a point when I went to this conference where I was so burnt out. I was tired, I was burnt out. I could not take a sick day. And I'm sure so many of you sitting here know that feeling where you're like, literally no one's sick, come next to me because I cannot afford to take a sick day. You know what it's like working for yourself. No one's going to pay you on that sick day. I couldn't go on holidays without coming back to a massive load of clients that needed to be fitted in or for new full sets. So that was really the change in my career. So I went home after that conference with my new confidence that I think that I can do this. And so I spoke to my husband and he was like, absolutely, start looking like online, commercial real estate. And to be honest, I already was probably about for 2 years in advance before signing a lease. I was looking at commercial real estate, but like I said, I was just psyching myself out, telling myself that I actually couldn't do it. So I went home, I looked, and there was added 5 minutes ago was the perfect location. It was where I always said if I wanted to have a salon, that's where I would want it to be, in that suburb. It's in Wahroonga if anyone's from Sydney. And I was like, amazing. Literally the next morning, I was in doing an inspection at 7 a.m. I didn't even have 24 hours to think about what I wanted my salon to look like. That is the piece of paper up on the top right-hand corner with crumbs of my food on it because I was at a cafe with my dad, came along with me. He is a builder. I'll mention that a little bit later in this as well. But I didn't even have 24 hours to think about what I would want to actually for my salon to look like before I decided I'm all in. I'm going to do this. Give me 1 sec. I don't want to miss anything for you guys, so give me 1 sec. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Where's my little clicker? So let's chat about salon renovations, yeah, because I didn't know anything about this before I started my journey in opening up a salon. So I just went on to commercialrealestate.com.au, and that's where you should really start if you want to, have a look for a commercial place. Start to look at prices, the way that places look, areas that you think you might be interested in. Ask real estate questions, call them. It's free to ask questions. So, and you can also go and have a look and do little inspections too. And you can also try to negotiate. But let's have a look at what my salon first started with. This was my salon space here. It looks a lot smaller in these photos, but it's just it was an ugly rectangle square. Mismatched walls. That carpet was it was waterproof. It was disgusting. It was so gross. And then there's my dad there helping me. And yeah, as we move through, I'll show. Oh my goodness! Wow, we really jumped. Anyways, that's all right. Oh, can I go back? Oh no, there's a slide missing. That's okay, it doesn't matter. It's just showing a little bit more as I went through the renovation. So the renovation took me 2 full months, and I signed a lease for 2 years. So when I signed that lease, I got a rent-free period of 2 months. So you don't have to worry about paying rent and trying to open up a salon at the same time and do your fit out and things like that. It did take the 2 full months to renovate the shop. That was my dad, myself, and my husband during literally any breaks that we got. And I was continuing to work in my business, taking on, my full books at the same time. So, we may as well go through to the reveal. If you want to watch the full renovation series, I actually did it on TikTok, Compulsive Lashes Boutique, if anyone wants to watch it from start to finish, and I go through literally everything on there. Now this will be a good reveal for you guys because you can see how ugly it was. And here we go. Welcome to Compulsive Lashes Boutique. That's my little front desk area. And then we've got 3 booths, all are completely identical, and I do have a wall separating each booth. A little look inside. I'll be upgrading the beds this year, but this is what the space looks like. We redid literally everything from the walls to the flooring, and then lighting, literally everything. That's a little makeup station because I didn't want to give up doing makeup just yet, but I think I'm at that point now. And we've got a waiting area. I didn't put a picture of that. We also have a little toilet that we installed, and then a back area for now my employees. So it's been a massive renovation, and it did take a bit of time to do and a lot of effort and love, but it was so worth it. I'm obsessed with the space now. So, are you ready? How do you know if you're ready to open up a salon? Because I didn't know that I was ready, but I'm sure there's so many of you in this audience that are absolutely ready to open up a salon. So, you need to have a steady clientele. I'm not talking about just at Christmas time where your books are nice and full. I'm talking like all year round. You want your regulars that you see day in, day out. They're never going to stop getting lash extensions, and you know it. Look, your books don't need to be 100% full, but I would say 80% would be great. Little spots here or there is totally fine, but you want to have that steady clientele coming through. You also want to be booked in advance, of course, not just, everyone books just one infill while they're with you and you only know 2 weeks in advance what your schedule's going to look like. You want to make sure you're convincing those clients, my books are so full, make sure you book, 3, 4, 5 in advance. If you're needing more space, maybe you're wanting to start to train people. I definitely felt squishy in my home training people there, although it's a great place to start, but you need more space for that for sure. Or if you're wanting to have a team, which is the path that I went down, and you definitely need extra space if you're wanting to have staff members. And then, of course, most importantly, you can cover your expenses. If your business is currently running at a loss and, after tax time comes around, you realize you didn't really make that much, don't start doing, commercial renovations and things like that until you know that you have a viable business. But I definitely wasn't making a lot of money when I opened up this shop. I just knew that I could cover the expenses by myself if, lack of a better word, if shit hit the fan, I could cover the expenses by myself. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty now. I think this is what everyone wants to know, and something that I wanted to know too, and I'll be really open and honest with it as well. But let's chat about how much it actually costs to open up a salon. Now, disclaimer, this is my experience. Yeah, it's not everyone's experience, and this was my shop front that I did. You can see it was a big job, and you can definitely work within your budget, but this is my experience here. So we've got, first of all, I separated it into my fit out and then my ongoing expenses. When I first did a budget, I thought I was going to spend about $10,000. I thought, yeah, I could do it, on the cheap. I was definitely a little bit naive. I don't think that you need to spend, for example, as much as I did. And it might have freaked me out if I saw this in events. So please don't let this panic you. You can do whatever is in your budget. You can find smaller spaces, bigger spaces, things that are already done for you. So don't let this worry you. But my renovations, I just put examples, of what I is included in that. But flooring, I put up all my wall fixtures, my front desk, plumbing. We got a full toilet installed because there wasn't already a bathroom in there. Painting, electricians, signage. I redid my, logo. I think I spent about $45,000. Then my decorations, waiting chairs, mirrors, curtains, all that kind of stuff, another $3,000. And then extra lash equipment, which you might already have some anyways, but I spent an extra $2,000 getting some more trolleys, beds, good lighting. So all up around $50,000 just on the fit out. I didn't have the $50,000 to begin with. I was kind of making money as I went, just to make sure things would keep moving forward. But I did get my dad, who, like I said, he is a builder, so he definitely had good connections that could help me in that. But he did a simple renovation quote, so just painting, flooring, front wall, just curtains in between. You could do an open floor plan as well, and he estimated you could probably do that for about $20,000 in this climate now. So I also have then obviously ongoing expenses as well, rent being number one. I didn't put it up there because the rent will really vary from place to place. It makes no difference how much my rent costs because each place is completely different and your space will look different in sizing too. But you need to make sure that you can cover that rent. So go comfortably, but I would say definitely get something a little bit bigger than what you think you need because it's so beneficial having all the space that I do now. Then I've got utilities, so electricity, water, Wi-Fi, those are extras now that I have to pay for. Insurance, hopefully everyone already has their public liability if you don't get that. But I also have now shop insurance as well, which is just a little bit of extra. Workers' compensation or eye care because I've got employees as well, so something more to add to the list. Wages, I'll talk on hiring next slide, but my girls are on casual, so I'm not too stressed about my wages. And then upgrades and wear and tear of the shop. This was what it cost me to open the store. But after I opened the store, I definitely added things as I went. I didn't have, a cash till or small little things that I was like, that would be really handy. So even though it's, a year and a half later, I'm still adding to that now. So I've definitely spent more than that now, and I know that I will continue, especially with wear and tear of the shop. But then you need to just remember that's the expenses moving into a commercial salon. But then you've got all your normal costs, whatever you're paying now to run your business, your products, tax, super, GST, you will still have all of that, your website, marketing, on top of, the expenses for this and opening up a commercial shop. Give me one sec. Oh, that's a good point. I love my salon. It looks beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. I love walking into that space. The truth is, I definitely went overboard, yeah. I didn't need to spend this much money. I definitely went overboard. My clients' eyes are closed like 99% of the time that they're in there. So please don't go overboard like me. You can do it in, like I said, in any budget, but just keep that in mind. You can make things look pretty, much cheaper as well. And ask for favors. If your boyfriend's friend is a plumber or an electrician or your dad knows whoever, use every single connection you have, pay little cash jobs or whatever you need to get the job done, essentially. Moving on. Hiring. Let's chat about hiring a team, because I was so confused on what to do. Luckily, I had Lauren guiding me during this. But for hiring, my first experience was very unique. It was just after COVID, and no real applications were flowing through. So my first hire, I actually hired her based solely on her personality. So she had zero experience, and I trained her completely from scratch. It was tricky at the time, but so worth it, because she does like everything the same way that I do things now. I don't regret that at all. She's incredible. But as many of you may know, becoming good and quick at lash extensions can take a little bit of time. So I actually then made my second hire not too long after my first, and then I had much more flow of people submitting their resumes as well during that time. And she was amazing. In comparison, she already had lash extension experience, about 2 years worth, and that was such a smoother transition, I would say, into the business. But I still had to train her in the way that I want things done, because I still want the quality of the salon to remain the same. And she phenomenal. But I did have to tweak certain little habits as well that I wouldn't like my girls to do, in comparison to my first hire, solely on personality. I just want to triple check this. All good. Yeah, so up on the board you can see my top hiring tips. So get specific about what you want in your hire, and make sure you do not compromise. It can be so tempting to compromise on what you want, especially if you're coming from a place of desperation. So make sure you get very specific about what you want in a person. Use a paid platform. I wrote like Seek. The Facebook groups and Instagram posts and things like that don't really work. Even like the community pages for lash artists and stuff like that. I got absolutely nothing. Every hire that I've made, and I'm just about to onboard my 4th staff member, has all been through Seek. It's amazing. It is a little bit expensive, but pay it, it's worth it. And you'll get much, I would say, like higher quality applicants as well. Less people wasting your time. Do a practical interview. Everyone will tell you what you want to hear during, an interview face-to-face, but actually making sure that they can, they said that they can do lashes in 2 hours, make sure they actually can do lashes in 2 hours. I've definitely had a few things where I'm like, that doesn't sit right. The math isn't mathing. So, definitely do a practical interview. Get a contract by a lawyer. An employee contract, that weeded out for me so many people that were just there to, I would say, use me and then leave, get some quick education and leave. It's weeded out so many people with poor intentions, I would say, and has helped me so much. Now, my girls are incredible. They're loyal, they're beautiful. They came into the salon knowing exactly the expectations from that contract. And be prepared to train. Yeah, I'm still training my girls now. Like I said, I'm only 1.5 to 2 years into this, but I'm still training my girls to this day, and I will continue training them. I probably didn't think that in the beginning, like, yep, you just train them and then off they go. But I'm still training, updating them, trying to make them the best artists they can be, even to this day. Give me one sec. Before I do this, by the way, guys, I am going to do a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, make sure you write them down, because I'm happy to answer absolutely anything at the end of this presentation. So my challenges. This has been the best experience ever, opening up a salon, but it definitely comes with challenges. I wouldn't change any of them. They're challenges. They're not failures for me in any way. Hiring and onboarding staff. Everything's tricky until you do it. Now that I've done it, after I did like my first interview, I was like, okay, I see how this goes, and you get that experience, but it can be a little tricky kind of sifting through people, finding who you want for your business. And leading a team. You know how to be a good lash artist, I'm sure, because you're here today. But leading a team, no one teaches you how to do that and to be inspirational and motivate a team. Learning to do that and learning to deal with, different personality types as well can be a little bit tricky, but super rewarding. I'm still learning that now. Loneliness. This, I think a lot of you may feel already if you're working by yourself at home, let's say. I felt lonely already, doing that. Maybe you have some lash artist friends, which is awesome, but it can be a little bit lonely, opening up a salon and, maybe some of your friends don't have a salon and they can't relate to certain things. So it's always so nice when, you get to chat to other salon owners, maybe they're hairdressers or whatever, but it definitely helps. But it can be a little bit lonely at times because no one knows like what you're going through except for you. And I'm sure you're experiencing this, like I said, even at home. And then work-life balance. Obviously, opening up a salon is a little tricky in terms of balancing work and my life. My job definitely takes over my life at some points, but to be honest, I don't hate it. I am so passionate about it that I love it. I think about it all the time because I love it, and maybe it is a little bit a part of my identity, but yeah, it's a challenge. It's something that I'm still working on to this day. Working in and on the business. You don't just open up a salon and immediately, boom, you have staff, they're all fully booked out. I was at home working for myself. Everyone wants me, and still to this day, I still have some people that really do still want me. So working in the business full-time and then trying to run the salon as well and have staff on top of that can be a little bit tricky. So I'm still, learning to delegate now and outsourcing as much as I can. I have only started doing that, a little bit more, but I can see how it will be so helpful in the future to continue doing that. And then taking a step back. I'm sure a lot of you feel the exact same, but having a business it's like your little baby. You just love it. You want everything done exactly how you would do things. No one's a replica of myself. And so it is a little bit hard to take a step back and to not micromanage. No one wants to be micromanaged. But I've definitely been learning to do that. And it's been great. I actually can't say that with taking a step back, nothing's gone wrong. So why haven't I done more of it? Why haven't I done it earlier? It can be a little tricky to do that when you're having a salon, but super rewarding. With all of my challenges, I've definitely had successes, and they completely outweigh my challenges. So, my successes. I have an amazing team. They are awesome. I love them so much. They are beautiful. They're definitely on the same wavelength as me, good vibes only. And I am super grateful for them. I invested a lot of, time and love and energy into them, and it's definitely paying off now. I get to go on holidays. Yay. Oh my goodness. I get to go on holidays and I don't come back to a massive workload. I just jump back in just like nothing ever happened, like I was never gone. It's awesome. I've been on holidays pretty much like every 6 months to, Europe, and the shop runs without me there. Although hands up, I still do all the admin. I'm not at that stage yet. I would love to be at that stage where I can take a step back and the admin's taken care of and stuff like that. I'm not at that stage yet, but the job gets done. I still get paid. I still get to go on holidays. Nothing burns down. Everything's still okay. And I get to go on amazing trips and enjoy my time away. I have gained so much clientele. Yeah, even just having a commercial shop front and people walking by every single day. We don't even have heaps of foot traffic where I am. It's decent, but it's not a lot. But we've gained so much clientele. I actually don't even know all the clients in the salon anymore. I try my best, of course, to show my face, but I actually don't know all of them because there are so many and we've reached such a bigger audience of customers. It's amazing. It makes me so happy to see. And even though work-life balance is one of my challenges, it's also been one of my successes. I definitely don't let now clients push any of my boundaries. When I was, quite booked up, I'd be like, yeah, I'll work later, that's fine, I'll do this as a one-off, or I'll work over my lunch break. Now I don't do that. I'm like, yep, sorry, I actually can't fit you in that day, but I have my amazing staff member, blah, 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 who can fit you in at that day and that time. That has been amazing. Now I actually stick to my hours. and 6+ figures in revenue. I feel like everyone always hears that number and everyone wants to hit it. And I think that really you can do it by yourself, 1000%. And everyone in this room should be able to. I know you're all amazing lash artists, but you can hit, way over that with a team. Looking back, like, I don't know, me 3 years ago or even 2 years ago, like seeing I have like a little vision board and, the numbers that I want to hit and the breakdown of that, seeing that number and it growing, I look at that figure now, I'm like, I can't even believe that, my salon could generate that much money. And each month I'm hitting over those numbers. It's just insane to me. So it's definitely easier to go massively over that with a team. Okay, amazing. Let's go into a little Q&A. Oh, sorry, I'm over time.
We might pass on the Q&A.
Yeah, sure.
But
come up to me after.
I was going to say, you're here the whole time.
Yeah, I'm going to be
all afternoon.
Here. Yeah.
We've got 2 speakers left, and everyone's 2 20-minute speakers left. Just a decision we need to make. First of all, thank you. That was amazing, very inspiring. How cool was that?
Just 2 more slides.
Oh, sorry.
2 more slides and then I'll be done. This is just one of my favorite quotes. If the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal. Make sure, don't budge on that. So if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never change the goal, yeah? And then let's keep in touch. I have my boutique, my academy, and my product line, Compulsive Lashes Boutique. If you want to ask me any questions or come up to me in the break, I'm an open book. I'll answer absolutely anything. Thank you guys so much.
How inspiring. Does it make you want to go out and open your salon? Hands up if you feel like going and open a salon. Woo! Get out and do it. All right. Thank you.